The protagonist is a woman who tends to grow up and possesses superpowers. She originally embarked on the journey to become a Pokémon trainer for the sake of making a promise with her friend, but all the scenery she saw during the journey gradually changed her thoughts. In the end, she not only made an agreement with her friends, but also for her own dreams, for the magical babies who accompanied her. Chapter 1. Pokémon. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiaozhi, today is your day to become a new trainer. I have placed your gift on the table in your room. Let's see what we have prepared for you. Yushi, also known as Yuxing's mother, helps Yuxing prepare the necessary items for her trip while communicating with Yuxing. Got it. I'm just looking now, Yuxing replied casually, as she had already finished packing up the things in her hand. However, Yuxing's good mood only lasted until the moment he saw the gift box, the pink box. Yuxing's mouth twitched as she knew she didn't really like pink, but her mother insisted on using this color for packaging. It's definitely intentional retaliation. A few days ago, she broke the anti-theft system at home and went public. It's really disgusting. Yuxing opened the pink box and breathed a sigh of relief as he looked inside at the 2 normal luxury balls and a magical treasure guidebook from the Fengyuan region. Thank goodness, my mother spared no effort in coloring her Pokémon ball or Pokémon illustrated book pink. However, 2 Pokémon. Will her mother treat her so well? She is very self-aware, and in terms of her mother's personality, she would definitely not. As expected, the mother knew her child the best. Before Yuxing could even make a sound, Yushi had already arrived at Yuxing's room with her backpack, ready to search for anything else she needed to bring. You don't have to think about it. How could I possibly prepare 2 Pokémon for you at once? There's also one that your uncle prepared for you. If it weren't for your grandmother asking me to prepare Pokémon for you, I would actually prefer you to go on a trip yourself, as everything you do is 3 minutes hot. Sure, it fits my mother's personality very well. And it's too hard, Mom. Every day, she runs on the front line to prevent her narcissism. Transmission transfer, but are you sure you want to take 2 ibis on a trip? Although you just finished scolding your own child, you still need to be concerned. Isn't there still Absolem? Yuxing's mother was helping prepare things, but when she heard Yuxing's words, she felt speechless. The first Pokémon cultivated by a superpower family was the evil elf Abyssalo. Do you think this is appropriate? I don't know why her first Pokémon must be obsessed with evil. However, if you only choose the evil-type Pokémon, it's actually nothing. The child's personality is already quite solitary, and with a Pokémon with a similar personality, it's really frustrating. If it weren't for Yuxing's grandmother speaking up, she would definitely not agree. Oh, 1-to-1 plus, oh that's right, Yuxing didn't take the 3 imperial families that the Alliance's legitimate trainers could choose from, but instead planned to bring along her long companion, Abdalyalu, and ask her family to find 2 for her. Although the Yuzhen family in the Fengyuan area is good, they first excluded the water-jumping fish. Although it is her preferred blue color, the initial appearance is still good, but the later appearance gradually does not meet Yuxing's aesthetic, so they excluded it. The rest are Mu Shougong and Huiji chicken. As far as she knows, there is a place in Mu Shougong where a tribe can go and catch them later. And the fire chicken. It's not good either. Who makes her a newcomer? Those few don't meet her requirements, just 2 are enough for now. Definitely not because Ibrahimovic is cute, how could it be, Omega, hey, oh, by the way, there's one more thing. The cost of sending the Pokémon ball from your uncle will be deducted from your pocket money. How to say it? As expected. It truly deserves to be her mother's style. Chapter 2. Departure. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I'm on the phone. Come and answer the phone. Just as Yuxing was about to open the Pokémon ball, he heard a phone prompt ringing at home. It's hard to imagine that it must be her sister Yuya calling. Hey, what's up with Yuya? Can't I call you if I have nothing to do? Of course you can. Today is the day you are preparing to embark on a trip, and of course, I will accompany you to open your Pokémon ball. The first person to see your Pokémon must be me. Yuya yawned and rubbed her eyes. What? Yuxing's head was filled with question marks. Didn't her mother tell her uncle about the types of Pokémon? Don't you know what the Pokémon my uncle gave me? That's for sure. I didn't find a chance to sneak a peek after them all day yesterday, and I even leaned over their door and eavesdropped all night. Is it necessary to have such good confidentiality measures? Even if I quietly went to check in the middle of the night, I couldn't even find the box. It's so anti-theft. Listening to Yuya's angry tone, Yuxing's mouth twitched. Is there a possibility that you were not only deceived? And before last night when you didn't notice, Uncle had already sent the Pokémon ball over. Yuxing looked at the black circle in her eyes and knew that she must have put in a lot of effort last night. Thinking of her uncle's previous instructions, she shook her head and didn't say anything to stimulate her. Alas, after the appraisal is completed, my uncle also has a bad taste. Omega, temporarily put away the Pokémon guidebook in the box, and then adjust the camera of the phone to an angle where you can see the Pokémon ball. Stop talking about this, sister. Open the Pokémon ball and let me see. Okay. I hope you are prepared. Yuxing picked up the magical treasure ball prepared by her mother Yushi and her uncle and opened it. Two white lights flashed past, and two little guys appeared in front of Yuxing. With a brown body and a white collar like a scarf around his neck, it is precisely Ibrahimovic, who is often at the forefront of cute pets. Two ibis were not afraid of anyone's curiosity as they looked at Yuxing. Yuxing slightly tilted his body to let Ibu appear in front of the camera. Oh. What my aunt prepared for you and my dad prepared for you are actually duplicated. Well, my mother and uncle said they are still twins. No. Did they mean to wait? Did I get scammed? So I'm just waiting for nothing. Lack of sleep caused some confusion in Yuya's brain, and now she has just realized it. Let's not talk about this for now. Seeing that you are about to go on a trip, sister, has made me want to travel with you now. Yuya planned to go find her father to settle accounts later, and then looked at Yuxing's Pokémon with envy in her eyes. She didn't know what her first Pokémon would be. You're still too young to travel with me. But during the journey, I'll keep an eye out for your favorite Pokémon. How about I catch them and give them to you? Humph, when I grow up, I can catch it myself. Alright, I'll go catch some sleep first. After my 10th birthday, I'll go on a trip with you. Line. Although Yuya wanted to chat with Yuxing for a while longer, she was already yawning uncontrollably, and her head was slowly moving, unable to hold on anymore. Then I'll hang up first. Okay, I'll call you when I get to the next place. Well, it's agreed. Yuxing hung up the phone and finally had time to talk to her Pokémon, so let's get to know each other first. Two little guys hugged Yuxing's arms and played happily as soon as they saw him squatting down. Yuxing feels a bit headache, my arm is not a swing. Transmission transfer, however, the two little guys didn't go too far either. After playing for a while and enjoying themselves, they came down. Hee, test the trainer's bottom line and achieve it. Ring in equal to, however, the two little ones were still too young, and the eye contact between them was easily seen by Yuxing. Have all the Pokémon become sperm now? Do you know that after the founding of the People's Republic of China, one is not allowed to become a sperm? Oh for all, cough cough, since we're going on a trip together in the future, let me give you a name first. The first one born is named Yen, and the other one is named Yue. Who agrees or opposes? IB, it seems that everyone agrees. Yuxing nodded in satisfaction. As for whether he really agrees. Did they say they don't agree? Omega, hey, we didn't agree, did we? Don't talk to yourself. However, opposition was useless, so the name was settled like this. After completing the initial communication, Yuxing retrieved the Pokémon, and the understanding and bonds that followed need to be cultivated during travel and battles. Yuxing checked what she had to carry on her body, including money, bank cards, abyssal, 2 Ibrahimovic Pokémon balls, some empty Pokémon balls, the most necessary Pokémon guidebook, and one of her most important traits, the Pokémon ball. This precious ball is dyed in 3 colors of white, red, and black, and she found something to hang around her neck, witnessing her promise. Yuxing also took off a purple-red brooch from his body and wiped it, then took it back with a serious expression on his face. Finally, Yuxing glanced at the group photo on the table again and said, "I'm ready to set off. Let's work together, Lin Yu." The background of the photo is deep sea, and Yuxing is wearing purple clothes with a very relaxed expression on her face, while the girl next to her is wearing red clothes with a warm smile on her face. But since we just talked about the picture book, let's briefly explain it. This is an important prop for Pokémon trainers. Not only can you view information about unfamiliar Pokémon, but it also records the trainer's identity information. It has a link to the trainer's Pokémon ball to view the skills of the Pokémon that have been tamed. Its features can also emit special wavelengths that inhibit the progression of Pokémon. However, generally speaking, Pokémon illustrated books can only view Pokémon information from the distribution area. To view Pokémon information from other regions, one can only import information without having to rely on local doctors. Her mother Yushi happened to come over at this moment with a light purple backpack. "This is the space backpack you need. I have already packed the items you need. Of course, the money for buying these items will still be deducted from your pocket money." "Okay, I got it." Yuxing took the backpack and looked at his mother with some helplessness. "I haven't seen you before. You really want to buckle it up? I left a letter for my younger brother. Remember to give it to him when he comes back from school. My dad only sent an email because he was afraid of disturbing his work. You should be careful of your health and not work overtime at home." Yushi couldn't help but interrupt as she listened to her daughter's rambling concern. "All right, I'm such an adult and can't take care of myself. Aren't you in a hurry to go on a trip? You're not leaving yet." Yuxing compared the life skills of the two and found that he was the one who was completely destroyed. He remained silent for a moment and said, "Then I'm leaving. Take care of yourself, I will take good care of myself." "Well, hurry up and leave. Your father and younger brother are not at home either. If there is one less person in the family, I will have more peace." After Yuxing walked out of the house, he turned his head slightly and found his mother quietly looking at him from behind the glass upstairs. Saying she doesn't care, actually Mom still can't rest assured. Maybe. Just get used to it. Yuxing stopped and turned around, smiling in the direction of Yushi, making a hug gesture. "Mom, don't worry, I can take care of myself." Yushi smiled and nodded her head as she bid farewell to Yuxing's departure, thinking to herself, "Anyway, it's normal to have a chance encounter or something at Fangyuan, isn't it?" At the age of 10, Xiaozhi has finally embarked on one of her planned futures. With the goal of becoming a Pokémon master, what kind of puzzles and challenges are waiting for her? Don't miss the next episode. Omega. Chapter 3. Arrival in Kanto. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Just a few days after Yuxing left, Yushi received the news. Dong dong dong. "Boss, there are some things I need to report to you about Mississippi." "Come on in, what's up?" Yushi didn't lift her head and continued to handle the work on the table. Time is money. After all, everyone at home has left. Hurry up and handle everything, and she can also take a vacation. The person in charge of tracking said tearlessly, "Well, we made a mistake. We lost her again. I don't know where Miss went now." "Oh, I understand." Yushi has calmed down upon hearing this news. She used to have it happen every once in a while when Yuxing was at home, and she has become accustomed to it. Comet Tax AE, Comet, there's one more thing. I found a letter for you at Miss Joe's place. Yushi frowned and finally put down his pen to take the letter from the bodyguard's hand. The content is as follows. Dear Mother, when you were reading this letter, I believe you already knew that I had shaken off the news from the bodyguard. A person's life will definitely go through ups and downs, with raging waves, so I should have arrived in the Kanto region by now. You don't have to worry, I will get in touch with you at Dr. Oki's place. Your daughter. Yushing. Oh. Yushi looked at the letter with a smile on her face, without a hint of worry. You shouldn't have thought of her. This is not worry-free. *degree. What are you worried about her doing? Stealing and running to various places is not a matter of once or twice. Although she understands her daughter's desire to travel and experience alone, it doesn't affect me deducting all her pocket money. Comet tax AE, Comet author. It's very similar to me who sneaked out to play when I was a child. The difference is that my mother doesn't know Omega. Hey, give me all of her pocket money for this month. No. It's the next 3 months. No, not a single penny is allowed. Since she has experienced the storms and raging waves outside, she must be able to withstand the storms and raging waves at home as well. Smiley face *, yes. I'll do it right away. That's what I said, but it doesn't necessarily have to be done that way. The bodyguard silently roast. If you do this, it will not be the boss you are worried about. But he dare not really say it, after all, who doesn't love salary? And Yushing, who was being talked about, had already boarded a plane with a destination of Changpan City in Kanto. Yushing has always been perfect in his work. Since he has decided to become a Pokémon trainer, he must work hard to the end. She took out her laptop and picture book to prepare a training plan for the 3 little ones. Firstly, when she was 8 years old, she encountered Abyssalu and practiced both releasing skills and combination techniques. Secondly, there were Iyen and Iyue. During their journey at Fangyuan, Yushing also trained 2 Ibu to familiarize them with their skills and engaged in several battles and exercises. They started exercising their physical strength because they had just started training, and then improved their level and became proficient in the skills they currently possess. Yushing further subdivided these plans, and after developing a detailed training plan, he just arrived at his destination. After leaving the airport, Yushing did not choose to take a taxi, but instead released Yi Yan and Yu, bringing them the prepared unchanging stones. Ibrahimovic, a magical treasure with extremely unstable genes, can theoretically evolve into any lineage, but currently only 8 forms have been discovered. Bringing them the unchanging stone is also to prevent them from hastily evolving. After solving the problem with the 2 ibis, Yushing plans to run with them to Jinshin town and engage in several battles while crossing the Changpan forest. She was able to depart early because she did not receive the alliance's distribution to the legitimate trainers Yuzan family. And the day after Jinshin town is when new trainers choose Pokémon. It's perfect to go see her friends choose Pokémon. Yushing, who came to the Changpan forest, saw many suitable targets for the battles between Iyen and Yu. Iyen and Yu were also familiar with the process of several battles during their journey at Fangyuan. After seeing a little Lada, Yu planned to directly launch a battle, but was picked up by Yushing. You two just followed me for half a day and exhausted a lot of stamina. Now we're going to have a battle, which is called find a place to rest and make something to eat. Then we can have a fight. Yushing comforted Yu for a while and promised to take her to battle after finishing her meal before Yu gave up the idea of fighting now. Compared to the battle maniac of Izumi, Izumi's personality is more stable, which may also be due to his older brother. Yushing once again released Abo Solu and asked him to accompany the 2 ibis to play for a while before starting cooking. The food for Pokémon is quite simple. Yushing bought special rations for various Pokémon before departure, which is the best and most nutritious one to eat. In addition, the energy cubes she made according to the taste of the 3, as well as the moo milk and calcium tablets after meals, can be said to be very luxurious, but the energy blocks made by Yuxing for Pokémon are quite delicious, but cooking for oneself means having one's own ideas. She can cook for herself to ensure she doesn't starve, so it doesn't matter if she occasionally burns a little. Anyway, she can definitely eat it and it's her own. Omega winky face. Adhering to the reason that he should have done less vigorous exercise after finishing his meal, Yuxing waited for half an hour under the pressure of sand before starting today's training. A group of Bobo and BB birds stood on a tree opposite Yuxing, and under the tree was a pile of food specifically designed for Pokémon. In order to provide food for his 3 trainers, Yuxing brought a group of Popo and BB birds as companions for training. They had food to eat regardless of whether they won or lost, and after the battle, Yuxing would also treat their injuries with generous treatment, playing first served. Should we say that food has excellent effects or that food is everywhere? Anyway, at that time, when I saw a group of Yuxing who came to sign up, I was deeply grateful that I had prepared ordinary priced Pokémon food, otherwise my little treasury would have been in trouble. After picking out 2 waves and 1 BB bird as the opponent of Iue, Iyen, and a Buthru, Yuxing stood on the side to watch the battle. First, choose a lower level and let them fight on their own. After accumulating enough experience, Yuxing will choose opponents with the same or slightly higher level to challenge them. It is at this time that Ijo will take command. After several rounds of battles, the 3 of them were also tired at night. After dealing with all the injuries of the Pokémon, Yuxing gave them a pile of food to accompany them wholeheartedly, bid farewell to the group of Bobo and BB bird, and began to set up a tent to prepare for cooking. Tonight's training or game, Yuxing and his 3 companions set a range for hide and seek. Except for finding the one, everyone else can't stay still. At night, it can both train hearing, roughly, and cultivate emotions, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Everyone has searched for the game once and it's over. Go to bed early and wake up early tomorrow to catch up. After several days of traveling, Xiaozhi finally arrived in the Kanto region and is about to reach Changpan town to meet her childhood friends. What is waiting for her tomorrow? Let's meet again in the next chapter. Degree. Chapter 4. Departure. Changpan Forest. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dong dong dong. Dr. Daiki, are you at home? Yo. You came so early. Come in, the door hasn't closed. Yuxing came in and saw Dr. Daimu, who had a slightly sticky smell, busy feeding the Pokémon. You came quite early. But you have to wait for me to finish feeding them food before you can choose your own Pokémon. Since you are the first to arrive, you can be the first to choose your favorite Pokémon. Although Dr. Daiki felt that the voice was very familiar, he didn't remember it for a moment. Yuxing asked with some amusement, Dr. Daimu, can I also choose one? Upon hearing this, Dr. Daimu knew he had mistaken the wrong person. He didn't come from the new trainer in Changpan town, but when he looked up, he realized he was still an acquaintance. Harm, who should I be? It turns out to be Xiaozhi. Why did you come to Kanto? I have made an agreement with Xiaochen, Xiao Mao, and Xiaozhi that I will make the Kanto region my first travel destination. Yuxing walked up to Dr. Daimu and picked up the Pokémon food to help. So it's like this, did your parents agree? Agreed. Although it was done first and then reported, it should be considered as agreement. Dr. Daimu, I ask you to help me load the Pokémon information for the Kanto region. Additionally, I would like to borrow your phone number to tell my mother that I have arrived. Yuxing thought to himself. First, make a phone call to calm down her mother's anger. Anyway, she's not in a hurry to go back, so it's best to go back later because she will definitely get beaten when she goes back. Although calling may be scolded, it's better than getting beaten. Okay, it's a small matter. Give me your guidebook. The phone is there, you can use it yourself. By the way, please help me take a look at these Pokémon and take them back to the Pokémon ball after they finish eating. If I haven't come back yet, please help them choose a Pokémon themselves. Okay, no problem, thank you, Dr. Daiki. Yuxing handed the guidebook to Dr. Daimu and then went to make a phone call. However, this situation exceeded Yuxing's expectations and briefly explained that she would not go back for the time being. She thought she would be scolded and looked at her mother, who was nagging her to pay attention to her health, with a confused expression on her face. After answering a few words, Yuxing was still in a confused state until she hung up the phone. Later, Yuxing thought of a possibility and couldn't help feeling a chill on his back. Hush, Mom, she probably won't settle accounts after autumn, right? Sigma, winky face. Grandpa, I'm here to pick up your Pokémon. Xiao Mao, who pushed through the door, saw a familiar person and exclaimed in surprise, Xiaoxing. Did you come so soon? Why did you come so early? Well, Dr. Daiki has gone to help me load the Pokémon information for the Kanto region. I should be back in a little while. Yuxing looked at the three little ones after finishing their meal and said to Xiao Mao, Dr. Daimu told me that you can choose directly in order when you come, and he will come soon. Xiao Mao should choose one directly. You should have planned it long ago, right? That's for sure. I choose the Jenny Turtle. Xiao Mao picked up the Jenny Turtle after finishing his meal and said, please give more guidance to the Jenny Turtle in the future. Johnny Xiao Mao also breathed a sigh of relief when he selected Cindy's initial Pokémon. When Yuxing handed the magical treasure ball of Johnny Turtle to Xiao Mao, his heart was completely at ease. When he woke up in the morning, he was afraid that he would wake up late and miss out on the magical treasure of Cindy. By the way, Xiaoxing, you should have passed through many areas in Kanto and encountered many Pokémon, right? How many Pokémon do you have now? I have 3 Pokémon now. Unfortunately, although I have encountered many Pokémon, I haven't taken any of them. Yuxing reluctantly spread out his hand. You haven't won any of them. Xiao Mao looked at Yuxing with some disapproval. Yuxing shook his head and helplessly spread out his hand, saying, you can't force someone to surrender and demand them to fight if they don't like the battle, can you? I don't intend to surrender too many Pokémon. Okay, what do your Pokémon currently have? Xiao Mao understood Xiaoxing's approach, but he probably wouldn't take this route. In addition to my early companion, Abdullu, there are also 2 Ibrahimovic. 2 IBS. This time it was Xiao Mao's turn to be helpless. Okay, after all, it was your choice. I believe in your choice. But what attributes do you plan to evolve your IBS into? It all depends on their wishes. Yuxing did not intend to delineate an evolutionary path for them, let it be natural. This is quite reasonable. Although Yuxing and Xiao Mao have some differences in their beliefs, they share some similarities in the evolution of Pokémon and both respect Pokémon's choices. That's right, it's important for Pokémon trainers to respect Pokémon wishes and guide them on the right path when they make wrong choices. Dr. Daiki heard their conversation and gave a positive answer to their views. Come on, Xiaoxing, this is your guidebook. Keep it safe and don't lose it. This is Xiao Mao's Pokémon guidebook, Pokémon Ball, and the other Pokémon I have prepared for you alone. Okay, thank you, Dr. Daimu. Yuxing took the picture book and curiously asked Xiao Mao, what is your other Pokémon? Thank you, Grandpa. My one, like yours, is also an Ibrahimovic. Xiao Mao had already prepared his luggage in advance, but after he received the Pokémon guidebook, he didn't rush out and stayed with Yuxing to help Dr. Omi feed other Pokémon. Dr. Daiki, are you there? I'm here to collect the Pokémon from you. The visitor is wearing a black duckbill hat, a black hooded shirt with white pants, and a black backpack. The visitor is none other than the friends of Hanyu's birthday, Xiaoxing, from Jinshin town. Xiaochen is also here. You are the second one to arrive. Dr. Daimu led Xiaochen to a machine with 3 Pokémon balls on it. Here are the Pokémon balls of Bulbasaur, Johnny Turtle, and Little Fire Dragon. You can choose your initial companions. Dr. Daiki was quite hopeful that these children did not choose the expressions of the magical treasures he had hoped for. 3 Pokémon balls. Xiaochen looked at Dr. Daimu with a funny expression on his face. He was the second person in front of him who had chosen to leave, but Dr. Daimu still placed 3 Pokémon balls. It seemed that Dr. Daimu's bad taste had erupted again. Xiao Mao likes to do his best in everything, so the first one to arrive should be Xiao Mao. He probably chose Johnny Turtle, so I chose Little Fire Dragon. Xiaochen reached out and picked up Little Fire Dragon's Pokémon ball. He saw Dr. Oki, who had a disappointed expression, smile helplessly and say, "Dr. Oki, please restrain yourself. Your persona has collapsed." Xiaochen, don't say that about Dr. Daimu. His character has long been ruined. Cough cough. Are you polite? Xiaoxing is right, and his grandfather's image has long disappeared. No, he probably never had that kind of thing before. When it comes to heart-wrenching, it all depends on Dr. Oji's biological grandson, Xiao Mao. Omega, Xiaoxing, you're here too. Xiaochen looked at Yuxing and his eyes lit up slightly. He greeted Xiao Mao and then helped Xiaoxing carry away the remaining Pokémon food and set it aside. Thank you, Yuxing handed the things to Xiaochen and said, I haven't been long either. Dr. Daimu, I and Xiao Mao have already fed you the remaining magical treasures in your yard. If you have nothing else to do, we'll leave first. Oh. The efficiency is very high. I have nothing else to do, thank you for your help, Xiaoxing. Dr. Daimu saw that all 3 of them had packed their backpacks, and he knew their eagerness. Without further delay, they sent the 3 of them out. Dr. Daiki. Are you 3 going on a trip together? No, Xiaoxing and I have already discussed in advance and plan to go to the west of Changpan forest. I heard that there is a flying mantis appearing there. I want to get along with Xia Hulong and then go and tame it. Xiaochen had already been prepared, and Xiaoxing planned to go and try his luck with Xiaochen because he had not found a talented Bobo when he came. I'll probably walk along the rivers of the evergreen forest, and the Johnny Turtle should be more fond of it. Then, I plan to take in a water or grass Pokémon to challenge the Nibi Dojo. It seems that you all have your own plans for a long time, that's great. Then when you travel, remember to often call your home to report safety, and then pay attention to safety. Dr. Oki nodded as he listened to the 3 people's plans and couldn't help but give a few more instructions. Dr. Daiki, rest assured that we will take good care of ourselves. I'll have to wait a little longer before we set off. Xiao Mao didn't rush to leave. Xiaozhi must have overslept, and now there's only Meow Frog Seed left. I'll see if he can make it. Xiao Mao's tone may sound like schadenfreude, but if you savor it carefully, it may sound a bit worried. Xiaochen smiled and said, okay, let's go first. Goodbye to the quartz conference, right? Yuxing didn't know when he released Yi Yen and held him in his arms. Without cat masturbation, Ibrahimovic can do it too. This feels great. Xiao Mao was full of confidence and said, the first one will definitely be me. Ha ha ha. Goodbye then. Xiao Mao, Dr. Daimu. Asterisk 2 Due to the emergence of Xiaoxing, Xiao Mao no longer travels in sports cars. With a slight change in his arrogant personality, Xiao Mao will definitely go further on the road to becoming a Pokémon trainer. If I say I will definitely do it. Ring in equal to ring in equal to. Chapter 5. Phoenix King. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The 2 of them had just left Jinshin town when they encountered gloomy weather. Xiaochen sighed helplessly and said, alas, the weather is really unpredictable. Come back, Yue. For safety reasons, let's put on a raincoat first. After retrieving Yue, Yuxing took out a raincoat from his backpack and put it on himself. Did you bring a raincoat? Don't worry, I'll take it with me. Come back, little fire dragon. After retrieving the little fire dragon, Xiaochen also put on a raincoat. Wow! Wow. The rain is really heavy. Xiaozhi silently roast while taking out an umbrella to cover Yuxing, regardless of his half-body still exposed outside. Don't lament for now, I remember there's a cave nearby. Let's go take shelter from the rain first. Yuxing placed his hand on Xiaozhi's shoulder, blue light flashing in his eyes, and the two of them instantly moved into a cave. After Yuxing arrived at the cave, he checked it first and found that there was no danger before taking off his raincoat with confidence. He took out some wood from his backpack and arranged it, then looked at Xiaozhi and said, "Xiaozhi, ask your little fire dragon to come out and light a fire. You really have enough preparation." Xiaozhi looked at it with admiration. "Little fire dragon, come out, please use sparks to light a fire." The little dragon nodded and a spark ignited the wood. "Wua," Yuxing smiled and said, "It's accurate to be fully prepared when going out." After igniting the firewood, Xiaohulong saw that Yuxing had added another coat to him. He quickly ran to make the flames of his tail burn brighter and extended it to Yuxing to keep her warm. "Thank you, little fire dragon. But I don't need it. Your actions are too energy-intensive." Yuxing touched little fire dragon's head and gave him a few energy blocks. Xiaozhi looked at Xiaohulong with a kind expression as he was satisfied with his food. "You are really not easy, good kid. You are quite skilled. Do you still have the leisure to act coquettishly towards the little star? It seems that the training amount he set is too light." The little fire dragon suddenly trembled, wondering why it felt chilly behind its back. Yuxing said, "Xiaozhi, let's take back the little fire dragon first. It's not suitable for this kind of environment." "I see," he just shivered. "Well, good. It must be taken back, and for no reason, it's better not to release it." Xiaozhi has made up his mind to quickly tame another Pokémon. Xiaozhi retrieved the small fire dragon and sat beside the fire with Yuxing. He rubbed his chin and speculated about where the flying mantis might appear. Boom! It should be Pokémon's lightning strike, it's quite powerful. Xiaozhi shook his head as he looked at the gloomy sky on the other side. It was unclear which Pokémon or humans would be implicated in the thunderstorm in cloudy and rainy weather. Shortly after, the sky cleared up, and Yuxing looked at a golden figure flying over the rainbow in the sky, as if he was also looking in his own direction. "That's..." Xiaozhi also saw the figure and blinked. "Xiaoxing, did I see it right?" There should be no mistake. Yuxing quickly took out the camera from his backpack and took a photo. That should be the legendary Phoenix King. Yuxing stood beside Xiaozhi and lowered her head slightly. The duckbill cap covered the complex emotions in her eyes. "Phoenix King. You actually came to Kanto. If only I had found you earlier." Yuxing's subordinates consciously touched their own brooch. "When we tried our best to find it, we couldn't find it. But when we didn't want to find it, you came to me. Should we say that fate is playing tricks on us?" Xiaozhi chuckled and said, "Although we were caught in the rainy weather, we were fortunate enough to meet the Phoenix King." Xiaozhi's words interrupted Yuxing's thoughts. Yuxing stood at the cave entrance, restrained his emotions for a moment, then returned to the cave and rested for a while before preparing to set off again. Chapter 6. Searching. You are listening at novelfull.audio. We've been searching for 5 days now. Xiaozhi sat on the side and drank a sip of water, laughing. The flying mantis didn't find either Bobo or Bobo. Our Pokémon has received a lot of exercise, and you've also found a lot of herbs. These are just 2 good things, right? We can only stay here for 5 more days, and then we'll have to challenge ourselves at the Nibi Taoist Hall. Yuxing couldn't help but sigh and then began to wonder, why does your first Pokémon have to cling to the flying mantis? Xiaozhi gave a mysterious smile and did not answer Yuxing's doubts. "Secret. Whatever you want. But even if we can't find the flying mantis, we hope we can meet a Pokémon with good talent. Otherwise, it would be a loss to stay here for so long." Iyan slightly arched his body, and his characteristic is that he can detect a certain range of dangerous auras in advance of danger. Yuxing looked at Yan's alert expression and could be certain that there must be something near the forest, or a powerful Pokémon. Yan carefully felt it for a while before coming to Yuxing's side and pointing towards the direction of the more lush forest. Yan, are you saying there is danger over there? Is it dangerous? Should Xiaozhi go and take a look? Well, the edge of the Changpan forest is generally not very dangerous, and Yan's strength has surpassed most of the Pokémon on the edge. So even if Yan doesn't feel like a flying mantis now, he should still be a strong Pokémon. Come out, little fire dragon. That's right, in the past few days, besides eating, resting, training, and fighting, Xiaozhi has rarely let little fire dragon come out. Moreover, after experiencing the gentle conversations of Yuxing's 3 magical treasures, little fire dragon no longer entangled with Yuxing. Xiaozhi silently gave a thumbs up to Yuxing's magical treasure in his heart. The two of them picked up their backpacks again and followed Yan towards the depths of the forest with their little dragon. Yan's ear twitched and suddenly looked up. Yan's lightning flashed and he left there. Yuxing had just ordered a string of high-speed star attacks before hitting Yan's foot. Chi, the flying mantis, flew out from the side with sharp eyes fixed on the two without moving. You really can't find a place to break through the iron shoes, it takes no effort to get it. Yuxing chuckled and called Yan back. That's true. Flying mantis, I want to duel with you. If you lose, you will become my Pokémon. How about giving you these Pokémon food if I lose? Xiaozhi took out a bag of insect-type Pokémon special food and gave Flying Mantis a piece to taste first. Pokémon's intuition is very accurate, and the Flying Mantis can indeed smell this food, which is beneficial for its power growth, but it will not eat it. Chi, the Flying Mantis, shook its head. It says it doesn't believe you. Translated by Yuxing. Chi, can you understand what I'm saying? I don't understand what you're saying, it's a kind of telepathy. Yuxing picked up the magical treasure food from Xiaozhi's bag and took a bite, then looked at the flying mantis and said, You see, I've eaten it. I'll give him a guarantee. Can you believe it now? Chi, the flying mantis, hesitated for a moment and then nodded. Every human who can understand the words of Pokémon possesses special powers, and those selected by these powers have basically no bad people. Yuxing's ability to understand the words of the flying mantis is the reason why the flying mantis agreed to the agreement with Xiaozhi. Otherwise, the flying mantis is the proudest insect warrior. If it really doesn't agree to be tamed, it would rather die in battle than obey. But if Yuxing knew that as long as she showed that she could understand the flying mantis, she could solve this problem. She would definitely not eat that food, although it suits the taste of the flying mantis, it doesn't suit her at all. Because it's too unpleasant to eat. Epsilon, room__room, 3. Chapter 7. Conquering the Flying Mantis. You are listening at novelfull.audio. So little fire dragon, prepare for battle. Since the flying mantis agreed to fight, Xiaozhi didn't hesitate. Seeing that Xiaozhi, Xiahulong, and Feitian Mantis were all ready for battle, Yuxing hugged Yan and became a judge on the side. So the battle begins. At the moment when Yuxing announced the start, the flying mantis immediately used the high-speed star. Xiaozhi's reaction was not slow, so he immediately commanded the little fire dragon to counterattack. Little fire dragon, sparks will shoot down the high-speed stars. The sparks thrown from the tail of the little dragon ignited the high-speed stars, and the gaze of the flying mantis was already activated. The cute voice of the little fire dragon distracted the flying mantis slightly. Use a smoke screen now. The smoke screen enveloped the little dragon, and the flying mantis did not hear the sound of the dragon's movement, so it chose to use its own wings to blow away the smoke. Little fire dragon uses dragon breath now. The close-range dragon breath not only hits the flying mantis, but also triggers a paralyzing effect when the little fire dragon's dragon product explodes. Little fire dragon, the fastest metal claw is aimed at the wings of the flying mantis. While the flying mantis was in a paralyzed state, Xiaozhi asked little fire dragon to make another move towards its wings. The flying mantis has a firm gaze and is ready to take on this move. However, the pain that the flying mantis had anticipated did not come, and the metal claws of the little fire dragon stopped in front of the wings of the flying mantis without making a move. Looking at the puzzled gaze of the flying mantis, Xiaozhi touched the little fire dragon to show his encouragement, and then explained, "It's just a sparring. There's no need to put such a heavy hand on it. If you don't want to follow me after injuring your wings, it can be dangerous for hunting or fighting, and even affect your potential in the future. I like attacking weaknesses, which is good, but not this time. A proud warrior should face more battles in the future." Although the flying mantis is still powerful without its movement speed bonus, it may recover in a few days. But the big-billed sparrows in this forest are very irritable Pokémon, and they often appear in groups. With the proud personality of the flying mantis, they will definitely get into a fight when they encounter them. So the flying mantis with injured wings facing a group of fierce sparrows and a big-billed sparrow, even if it wins, will still be seriously injured, and it may even never be able to fly again. This is not the result he wants. Yuxing looked at the contemplative flying mantis and felt it was a play. Although Xiaozhi's words are sincere, she already knew his plan from her understanding of Xiaozhi. He really likes this kind of flying mantis, but even after a few days of training, little fire dragon cannot defeat flying mantis, so this guy has no intention of winning. But instead, I plan to get familiar with my face and strive for the next challenge opportunity, otherwise who knows where this flying mantis will go. But now it seems that the effect of Xiaozhi's familiar face may be better than expected. Watching the elusive flying mantis fooled and unable to find the north, Yuxing silently labeled Xiaozhi as having a black belly. I don't know how that elegant and gentle person became so dark. The flying mantis remained silent for a while, its eyes complex as it looked at Xiaozhi. If it continued to fight, even if his wings were injured, he decided to win, but his concern, "Alright, I lost this game. Here's the Pokémon food for you." Xiaozhi took out the agreed Pokémon food and handed it to the flying mantis. The flying mantis pushed back the magical treasure food given by Xiaozhi, looking serious. Chi, ding. Your you, real.time translation, and star are ready to go live. Omega, the flying mantis said, "Let the warrior admit that there is more than just combat. I have recognized your character and am willing to travel with you." "Really? Flying mantis, would you like to go with me?" Xiaozhi said. The surprise came too suddenly. The flying mantis nodded. "After that, please give me more guidance. My name is Yuxing." Xiaozhi shook hands with the flying mantis. "Chi, I am the flying mantis, please advise me in the future." Xiaozhi smiled and took out a Pokémon ball to touch the flying mantis, because the recognition and acceptance of the flying mantis had no twists and turns. "Thank you, Xiaozhi." Without Xiaoxing's initial guarantee, the flying mantis would not agree to this agreement and there would be no future events. "You don't need to be polite, if you insist, let's help me find Bobo together." Yuxing, looking at the time, picked up his backpack and didn't hesitate to summon this laborer. "Okay. Obey me." On this trip, the two not only met the legendary Pokémon Phoenix King, but also succeeded in winning over their new companion, the flying mantis, through their own charm. Will their future travels be so easy? Stay tuned for the next chapter. Omega. Chapter 8. Bobo. You are listening at novelfull.audio. That afternoon, Xiaozhi was opening the picture book to look at the information of little fire dragon and flying mantis, and preparing for future cooperation, which would be more convenient for formulating future training plans. Meanwhile, Yuxing took out his laptop and found all the evolutionary pictures of Ibrahimovic and placed them in front of the two, allowing them to choose for themselves. Yen, EU, come and take a look at these pictures. These are all your evolutionary types. Which one do you like? Of course, not evolving is also possible. If she wants to evolve, she needs to be prepared early, whether it's preparing for the evolution stone or the requirements of the region or time. Be careful. In the end, Yen chose the Sun Elf evolutionary type, while Iyue chose the Moon Elf evolutionary type. Are you a Sun Elf or a Moon Elf? Remember to wear your unchanging stone, Yen. You can only evolve into a Sun Elf by taking it off during the day, while Iyue can only take it off at night. Yuxing told the two to pay attention and received their positive answer, so he let them continue training with Abyssalu. Xiao Chen, who was making lunch, heard their choice and joked, "It really fits the name you gave you, Prophet." Yuxingbai glanced at him and said, "Let me help." No. Xiao Chen immediately rejected the proposal and said seriously, "If you still want to have a normal lunch, please put down the seasoning in your hand immediately." Contrary to Yuxing's cooking skills, Xiao Chen can be said to be a professional chef with the ability to raise magical treasures, which means that the deliciousness of the magical treasure food made by Yuxing is much higher. So after the two of them temporarily traveled together, he took on the responsibility of cooking, while Yuxing was responsible for washing dishes and preparing snacks such as Pokémon energy cubes. After finishing the meal, a blue light appeared in Yuxing's eyes, and all the bowls drifted to the side of the river in order. A small stream of water separated from the river and washed the dishes. Xiao Chen looked enviously at Yuxing's operation and sighed, "Having superpowers is just convenient." After Yuxing finished, he talked to her about her plans and said, "We only have these last 3 days left. If we can't find the Bobo or BB bird you want to tame, what should we do? Then go directly to the Nibi Taoist Hall to challenge. It seems that there is no fate between me and Bobo." Yuxing was not too anxious and took out 2 fishing rods from his bag, handing one to Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen reluctantly took it and started fishing with Yuxing. As for the little fire dragon and Abasoru, they all slept soundly during their rest time after meals. "I'm hooked." Yuxing pulled up an ordinary fish. "I have dinner tonight." The world of Pokémon should have ordinary animals, otherwise everyone would eat scallion ducks omega. Yuxing had not yet taken the fish off the hook when a wave suddenly rushed out and cut off the fishing line to snatch the fish. Smiley face Xiaoxing smiled and said, "Isn't luck here? The wave with steel wings looks very good." Bobo held the fish in his mouth but found himself unable to move anymore. Yuxing, who had been caught by someone's rod, directly used his superpowers to bring the fish and bird back together. Yuxing squinted his eyes and said, "Young man, although I don't like eating fish, this is not a reason for you to snatch fish from your own rod. I finally caught a fish here, and as soon as you flap your wings, you want to grab it. Where is it so easy?" Chapter 9. Barbecue. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yuxing looked at the body shape of this Bobo and then thought of the steel wing trick he had just used. He looked positive and said, "Roast this Bobo tonight. Its grilled wings must be very delicious." "Bobo, Sigma, degree, what is it? Help. All the birds, come and save my bird's life." Despite Bobo's extreme lack of cooperation, Yuxing still upholds the call for democracy and freedom, actively listening to public opinions. "Young man, can you choose whether to turn it into a pot of soup or order 2 barbecue grills, Bobo, that? Isn't it just about grabbing you a fish, isn't it like this? Is there no other solution? Degree, without me, things are always only for my own people. If I come to choose, then let's barbecue. Don't try to sneak away, you can't escape." Yuxing said as he removed his superpowers and seemed to be looking for a barbecue rack in his backpack. Trembling all over, Bobo saw the empty Pokémon ball set aside by Yuxing. Suddenly, an exceptionally intelligent bird's eyes lit up. "Bobo, I've come up with a solution." Omega. Under the gaze of Xiao Chen watching the play, Bobo was afraid that this human would remind the Demon King to come over and not even want the fish he liked. He bumped into the Pokémon and took him in. Bobo breathed a sigh of relief in the Pokémon ball and finally became safe. Oh, carrot, oh, take a look. Take a look. Take a look. Look at how scared this Bobo is, its talent is still very good. Now it may be suffering from Yuxing phobia. Little Chen reluctantly put away his fishing rod, and Yuxing also caught the magical treasure he wanted. Now they can rush to the Nibi Taoist Hall. Do you want to hear what you're saying? How could I name a disease after my name? I'm living well, Yuxing quickly denied, feeling a bit scared, but she was just joking. By the way, Xiaochen, could you please help grill the fish? Play and play, play and play. The fish still needs to be grilled. Okay. Xiaochen didn't plan to see Yuxing take action, fearing an accident. Yuxing released Bobo, but as soon as he came out, the little one saw the small white bottle in Yuxing's hand and almost burst into tears. Bobo, as a result, I have become your Pokémon and you still want to roast me. Don't you have a heart yet? Sigma, degree, winky face. Yuxing also heard Bobo's accusation and looked helplessly at the small white bottle in his hand, explaining, but this one in my hand is not barbecue sauce, but medicine. Yuxing handed the spray bottle in his hand to Bobo. You see, this is sprayed with medicine. How could it be barbecue sauce? I was just joking with you earlier. Besides, eating Pokémon is illegal. As a good citizen, I can't possibly do such a thing. Bobo hesitated for a moment and ultimately chose to believe Yuxing's words. After all, it did not see humans eating Pokémon. The most important thing is that the situation cannot tolerate birds to refuse. Didn't you see that it has been held down by superpowers again? Hold on a bit, it hurts a bit. Ignoring the happy smile on the side, Yuxing sprayed medicine on Bobo. The little one must have fought a lot and suffered injuries all over his body, but he was really tough and didn't say a word. It's really not barbecue sauce. 3665, alright, here's the grilled fish for you, Bobo. Yuxing took the grilled fish handed over by Xiaochen and gave it to Bobo. Bobo, who was sure it was for him, quickly ate it without hesitation. And this is your Pokémon ball. If you don't want to travel and fight with me, let me know and I will let you go. Chapter 10. Encountering Xiaozhi. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bobo originally intended to refuse, but he immediately betrayed his original intention after tasting a bite of Xiaochen's grilled fish. Bobo, Sigma, degree winky face. Are you unwilling? Who wouldn't want to? I am willing to die. Oh my. Hot, Bobo, oh my. I almost missed out on the bird's feast, I didn't expect barbecue to be so good. This fish is really delicious. Fragrance. Yuxing heard Bobo's voice and felt very helpless. Just now, he didn't know who was even afraid of barbecue ingredients. Bobo devoured the grilled fish fiercely, with 9 out of 10 lines praising its delicious taste. Judging from its appearance, Yuxing felt that even if she drove Bobo away now, the goods would probably not leave. The other few resting on the side also came over to greet Popo, who was also very polite. Even though he was busy with cooking, he responded one by one. Of course, it's a nod in response because its mouth is very busy. Don't disturb me. After Popo finished eating, the two of them took back the Pokémon and planned to rush to the Nibi dojo before it got dark. But can it be called a trip without any accidents? The two of them happened to encounter a talented monkey monster along the way. Not only did it damage a herb that Yuxing was interested in, but it also provoked her. Xiaoxing, please calm down. Xiaochen quickly grabbed the angry Yuxing and saved the monkey monster's life. You should know that Yuxing has practiced Chinese martial arts. Omega, that monkey monster has good talent, do you want to tame it? Yuxing did calm down, but asked Xiao Chen an unrelated question. Well, I'm interested. Even Xiao Chen, who knows Yuxing the most, couldn't figure out which one she was up to. Very good, I support you in subduing it. I happen to be missing a companion for training. Yuxing finished speaking and led the way towards the direction of the monkey monster's escape. Xiao Chen silently mourned for the monkey monster in his heart for a second, and the remaining time was spent on gloating. Xiao Chen looked at the pitiful monkey monster and then at Yuxing, who patted the non-existent dust on his hands as if he had finally breathed a sigh. His smile suddenly became a bit stiff. What are you still doing in a daze? Aren't you afraid it'll run away? Yuxing looked at Xiao Chen strangely. What's going on with this person today? Are you not actively trying to win over your favorite Pokémon? Xiao Chen glanced at the fallen monkey monster and thought to himself, I would rather believe that I can subdue the Phoenix King than believe that this guy can move a bit. He had just subdued the monkey monster that had been beaten down by Yuxing when he heard a familiar voice. BB Bird, using a fierce storm. Xiao Chen. This sounds like Xiaozhi's voice. Dr. Daimu didn't come across it. Since we happen to meet here, let's go and say hello. Yuxing took the backpack from Xiao Chen's hand and the two of them walked towards Xiaozhi's direction together. However, before they could see Xiaozhi, they first saw a person who was sneaking behind him. Xiao Chen looked at him and felt like he had seen him there before. How do I feel like the person with the knife behind Xiaozhi is a bit familiar to me? Yuxing looked at the person wielding a knife at Xiaozhi and said rudely, he's so sneaky and still holding a weapon. At first glance, he doesn't seem like a good person controlling it first. Impact. Iyue jumped out of Yuxing's arms and collided with the young warrior to the side. A girl with orange hair looked at the person behind Xiaozhi who was about to swing a knife at him and quickly spoke out a reminder, running over anxiously. Xiaozhi. Hey. Where did IB come from? But the next second, the person was hit by an IB. What's going on? Xiaozhi looked at the scene in front of him and couldn't figure it out. Why did this Ibrahimovic knock down this person? Come back. Yuxing picked up who had returned and masturbated her a few times. Squinted her eyes in Niding's embrace, enjoying herself. Xiao Chen greeted him with a smile and said, Xiaozhi is so clever. I didn't expect to meet you here. Xiaoxing. Xiao Chen. This Pokémon belongs to Iyue. Didn't you set off long ago? How could you be here? Xiaozhi smiled happily when he saw his friend, but there were quite a few questions in his mouth. Yuxing kindly reminded Xiaozhi of his original plan. You should first subdue this unicorn beetle, otherwise it will run away soon. Yeah. Go ahead. Pokémon Ball. Xiaozhi threw the Pokémon Ball at the unicorn beetle because BB Bird had exhausted its stamina. The Pokémon Ball was successfully subdued in just a few flashes.